Hello, thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos. And today we're looking at number lines and interval notation. So in the previous one, we did inequalities. And today we're doing interval notation. So feel free to pause the video here and write down the definition for interval notation. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in here and do a few problems. The first set of problems are going to be based on given the interval notation. So we got the interval notation, and what we want to do is graph the line. So these are going to go in one direction. So you have here the interval notation, and I'm going to circle it right quick. That's the interval notation, and we've got negative infinity and 4 with a bracket right here. Okay, so what that means is we're going to first go to 4, zoom in a little more, and go to 4. I'm going to fill in that circle, and since it goes to negative infinity, we go to the left, this way. Alright, let's take a look at another one. Here we've got graph interval representation and interval notation on the number line. Here we got the infinity on the right. It's positive infinity, but you have a parentheses. So you're going to have a open circle for 2, and we're going to go to the right for positive infinity. So these are the ones where you just have one line going in one direction. All right, let's look at a couple more. All right, you got these right here. Now these, there's no infinity on this, and there's no OR situation here. So this is a conjunction where we're going to combine these together, and they're going to go inward, okay? So here you have brackets on both the 1 and the 8. So I'm going to put a dot on 1 and put a dot on 8. And because they're brackets, we're going to close them in. Okay, and then we're going to fill them in this way. All right, and that's it. Let's take a look at number 4. Now this one does not have brackets. It has parentheses on the outside. So you have 1 and 7. We're going to go to 1. Zoom in a little bit. Put an open circle. And go to 7. Put an open circle there. And then we're going to go inward. Like that. So it's going from 1 to 7. 1 to 7. And since they're both open circles, you leave it causes parentheses. If one was a bracket, you would close it in and so forth. But since they're both open or both parentheses, we leave the circles open. So that's one where it's a conjunction when they go inward. All right, on number 5 and number 6, they're both ORs. They're going to go outward. One going to go in one direction and one's going to go in the other direction. You can just do one at a time, okay? So here on number 5, I'm going to zoom in right quick. We're going to go from positive 2 with a bracket. So we close in the circle, and we're going to go to negative infinity, which would be to the left. Then we're going to go to 5. Okay, and close that circle in because it's a bracket. See the bracket? And we'll go to positive infinity this way. All right, let's take a look at another example. All right, so here, on this one, instead of brackets, we got parentheses. So, and keep in mind, you'll always have a parentheses on the infinity part. Whether it's negative or positive, will always be parentheses. So, we're going to have negative 2, which is right here, and we'll leave it open because it's a parentheses. And we go to negative infinity. And then we're going to go to 5 and go to positive infinity. Okay, so that is for the OR. All right, so that is an examples of interval notation given the interval notation. Now we're going to do some examples given the number line. So let's take a look at some of those. All right, so now we've got the interval notation and we're asked to write it. I'm sorry, we have the number line and we're asked to write out the interval notation. All right, so it goes on forever here. So on the right side, it's infinity. So we're going to make an infinity sign, right? I'm going to put a comma here. And like I said before, the infinity always gets a parentheses. Now on my left side, it stops here at 11. So I'm going to put 11. And because it's an open circle, I'm going to put parentheses. And that's it. All right, number 8. So on this one, we got a negative infinity. So on the left side, I'm doing negative infinity. Let's try that like this. Negative infinity, comma, and then we're going to 0, and it's closed in, so we're going to put a bracket. Okay. So on both of these are scenarios where they are going in one direction. All right, number 9. On number 9, we have a -4 to +6, and this is going inward, right? So basically, you just don't need any infinity signs here. We've got -4, comma 6. And my 4 looks a little funny, but -4, right? And since it's closed in, we're gonna put brackets. That's it. All right, on number 10, it says express the interval shown on the number line in interval notation. Just writing in interval notation, we've got -9 here, and we've got 1. And since they're open circles, we're gonna put parentheses. So that's one where they're going inward, where it's a compound there. All right, let's take a look at these last two. And these are going to be the OR. And you're going to use this U symbol for the OR. I put a actual U. You can just put like that. And that's it. In between what you got going on. So on the left side, we've got from 1, right? Open circle, parentheses, going to negative infinity, parentheses. Or you've got from 11 to +12. I'm sorry, +12. Going all the way up to positive infinity. And since there are open circles, we use parentheses. All right. And on our last example here, we've got -11 going all the way to negative infinity, parentheses on the infinity. Because this is closed in, we're going to put a bracket. Or we have the 4, which is also in a bracket, and it goes up to positive infinity, parentheses. And that's it. That is number lines and interval notation. I want to thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos. Have a nice day.